Last night I started reading The Housemaid by Freida McFadden on my Kindle. I just felt like I was in the mood for a thriller, and I haven't read a thriller on my Kindle or like a physical copy in a long time. I usually always listen to them, and I've been wanting to listen to The Housemaid forever. I know it's like one of her most famous books. It's being turned into a movie, so I really wanted to listen to it, but it's not available on my Libby as an audiobook, which I always think is weird. So I just haven't read it yet, but last night I was finally like, I'm gonna just read it on my Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I started it. I'm obsessed with it. I think I'm already 20% in, 22% already. I feel like that's pretty good. I'm kind of flying through it. I usually do that with Freida's books, but also I've only ever listened to them again, so very excited. I love her writing. It's so quick, so easy to follow. So far in The Housemaid, all I know is that we're following Millie, who had something kind of crazy happen in her past, so now it's hard for her to get jobs, but she was very fortunate to be able to interview and get this job at a very wealthy family's house, where she's the housekeeper, kind of like the babysitter sometimes, also like the cook, and it's a live-in position, so she's living in their attic of this nice fancy house, and things start kind of getting weird. There's kind of like red flags. It's kind of like tense in the household. The mom is kind of being crazy in a way, of like her moods are like up and down. She yells at Millie for not doing something when she never even told Millie to do it in the first place, if that makes sense. Things are just kind of weird, but Millie's like, I need the money, I need somewhere to live, so I'm just gonna keep pushing through. So that's all I really know so far. It's just very tense, very weird. Also, it starts with like a future chapter, and then it goes like back in time, so you kind of know like something goes down at some point in this book, and then it goes to like 3 months earlier and like where Millie's starting out at the house. So there's already like this overlaying tension and like event that happened that you're just trying to figure out like the whole time. So very interesting, very quick, fast paced so far. I'm enjoying it, so I'm gonna keep reading it and see if I find out anything else. I feel like this one's gonna have a lot of twists and turns. I want to try to figure them out, but usually with Freida I don't, so we'll see if this time that I finally do. I don't know who to trust in this book. I feel like I need to be suspicious of everyone, even the 9-year-old. I'm like, no, I don't like you, and I'm suspicious of you. And I don't really like any of them either. I'm like, even our main character, I'm like, girl, I get you need money, I get you need a place to live, but like, is it worth all this? No. Also, you're crazy because you're starting to have feelings for someone you should not be having feelings for. So I'm just like, get it together. I think I'm almost 50%. I feel like I need something to like go down sooner or later, because I'm like, okay, something's happened. Now where are the consequences? I feel like they need to start happening quicker. I'm just suspicious of everyone. I'm trying to like figure out the plot twist, you know? And I feel like I might have gotten, like I have a theory. I also just feel like every single one of them are insane. Like, what the heck? How is there 3 people all equally probably insane in one room, like, or one house? That's crazy to me. It's taken a turn. I'm at like 60%. When I got to part 2, it kind of shifted because we got a new POV and we're kind of going like back in the past of what happened before, and I am kind of shook. Like, I kind of expected a certain thing because I didn't trust someone. It's interesting, and it's a little bit dark and twisty. So I have a feeling there's gonna be more twists and turns because Freida always has like at least another little twist that I never see coming. So I'm excited to see what that could be. I feel like I'm gonna finish it soon because like I'm flying through this book. It's just so easy to read. I have like 2 hours left, my Kindle says, so we'll see how long it takes me to actually finish it. I feel like I might do it a little bit faster because I'm like needing to know what the heck is going on. There's a sequel. Gonna have to read that soon. This definitely had some twists and turns. Some of them I did see coming, however some of them I did not see coming. It was a little bit darker than I expected. And I also didn't expect to come out of this book liking anybody, because at first I didn't like any of the characters. But now I do. I did come out of it liking some people, so that's a good sign. That was crazy. 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 I need to like digest this a little bit more. It's time to pick our next read. Yes, I'm sitting on the floor. I don't have a tripod with me currently, so you're on my dresser. Instead of reading anything on my physical TBR, I'm like, why don't I just read one on Kindle Unlimited? Our options are Quicksilver, which I feel like is a good option because I don't believe it's a series, or if it is a series, it's like not completed yet, which is that a good idea? I don't care. I feel like that is, because then I don't have to commit to a series right now. That's my issue. I don't want to commit to a full series right now. I just need like something I can read and then move on to something else. So that's an option. I've heard lots of good things. I don't know what it's about, but I've heard good things. Also, we could go to The Serpent and the Wings of the Night. However, I believe this is at least a duology. Not sure if it's a trilogy. So do I want to start that right now? Or I could do Heartless Hunter, and I know the second book like just came out. But it's so hard to find just like a standalone fantasy these days, I feel like. I could do Blood of Hercules. I don't know if that's a standalone. I need to like do research maybe. Also, we could do Phantasma. What has the highest Goodreads reading? Let's think about that. Quicksilver is 4.42. Blood of Hercules is 4.04. So far Quicksilver is winning. What was the other one? 4.09. Okay, we're gonna go with Quicksilver because that's how I make decisions sometimes. I need like something to set the bar, and that's what I chose this time. That was the curriculum in Quicksilver 1, so we're going with Quicksilver. Okay, it's been a minute since I've updated you guys on Quicksilver and just this reading vlog in general, because I went on like a little trip to Pennsylvania and just kind of stopped reading a little bit. I read like a few chapters while I was there, but not like consistently. So I feel like at first the beginning of this book felt kind of slow and like a bunch of like information dump. Like I said, I was reading like one chapter a day, so I feel like if I would have just sat down and like binged like the first 15%, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. But now I actually am a little bit further. I think I'm like 20 something percent, and we are getting to more action, like more things are happening, and I'm starting to understand a little bit. I just feel like it was like a lot of information at first, but I am enjoying it. I like the writing, and I like our main character, Cyrus. I'm not quite sure how to say it, and I don't know how to say a lot of these words in this book. However, there is like a pronunciation guide at the beginning of this book, but I still don't think it's helping me, so that's just a me problem. So far, we're following a girl named Cyrus who lives in like the third. It's called the third, where like this is gonna be hard for me to explain because I barely even understand it. So Cyrus lives in the third, which is like the poor area of the land or kingdom or whatever, and she takes care of her brother. They live in like the poor area, so she has to like steal water for them, and she's like a known thief apparently, which the beginning of this book kind of did remind me of Powerless, just the way that like throws you in and you're immediately seeing the main character like stealing to survive. Like that was similar to how Powerless was, and so it immediately like throws you in, and I was like excited to like not be like bored right away, I guess. So anyways, you're immediately thrown into her trying to steal something in order to survive, and then in the process of that she actually ends up getting caught and taken to the kingdom where the queen lives, and then something kind of crazy happens. We're not really sure what exactly, and now she's like in the Fae world. Surprise, there's Fae. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why. I mean, it's called like Fae and something, Fae and alchemy, I think. I didn't know that though when I started this book, but that's where I am right now. I'm liking the Fae world. I love Evelyn. She's like kind of helping Cyrus and like taking care of her, and like she's gonna try to like teach her. But as of right now, that's all I know, and that's how I can tell you the information. Updates on Quicksilver. Last night I read a lot. Like I sat down in bed thinking I would read a chapter and fall asleep, and I stayed up at least an hour, which never happens to me. I'm almost 50%. I'm 45% right now. Every single chapter I'm going back and forth on if I like Kingfisher. First of all, Kingfisher as a name, just no, but when we call him Fisher, it's fine, so I'm gonna say Fisher. I just don't know if I like that man. Like, he's literally called her an idiot, and I have not forgiven him for that. And I don't know if he's actually the love interest, but like I feel like he probably definitely is, and I don't know how I feel about him. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I like him, like I think he's secretly nice, but he just is like really struggling. So I feel like I can kind of get why he's acting certain ways, but I feel like also that shouldn't be an excuse. Like, just be a nice person. I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't like this man. I also like don't like bully romances or anything like that, and this is like kind of teetering on like the fact that he's like so mean to her. So we shall see. I'm gonna keep reading, and hopefully I like this man and he becomes nicer. I'm on chapter 20 now, and I'm starting to dislike them more. Unfortunately, I just don't like the way he talks to her, or they talk to each other. And it goes both ways actually now. First of all, Fisher has zero filter, no filter at all. And the way that he talks to her in like such a sexual way in front of other people, I'm just like, and she's liking it. She's liking it, but I'm not. I feel like the secondhand embarrassment. And also Sarah's is kind of bothering me because she's doing that whole like, oh, I don't want to wear the pretty dresses you're setting out for me to wear. I don't want to eat dinner with you. I mean, I've only ever had like bread and barely any water, but I definitely don't want the nice food that you're making for me and all this stuff. Like, you know, I'm over the complaining. Also, like, their banter is not bantering for me. Their banter is either like her complaining or him being just like overly sexual to her. I don't care about that. I want some good banter, some smart banter, but it's not that. I'm not enjoying these characters right now, but I'm going to try to push through and see if like it gets less annoying. I feel like I'm the odd one out right now because a lot of the reviews that I saw, people were like really enjoying this book, so maybe I'm just the weird one. I finally finished Quicksilver. I feel like I deserve a round of applause for that because it's literally a miracle. I feel like by this point that I even finished it, I was this close to DNFing it, and I can say honestly that I'm glad I didn't DNF it. I do think the second half of the book is so much better, like literally light years better than the first 50% of this book. I wish that the first 50% was different because I think I would have loved this book if like things were just different. I do think it's a good story and like the world is very unique to me and interesting. I just feel like there's so much to be improved on in my opinion. As you saw, I didn't like the romance between the two main characters at all. I barely even liked Sarah's. The second 50%, she was better and the romance was a little bit better, but I really just didn't like the romance. I didn't like being in Sarah's POV, and that's the only POV we got. I would have loved to have the other side character's point of view because they honestly carried this book for me. Carry On, I don't know how to pronounce any of the names, by the way, but Carry On, Lorith, and Ren carried this book for me, especially like the ending too. I was very entertained by like the second half of the book. There's so much that happens. So, and to me, I just feel like the first half is so slow and dragged out. Drugged out. Am I okay? So I do feel like it was a little bit too long for me personally, and I feel like also we didn't really expand on a lot of like the world building and the magic, which I felt like would have been an interesting point of the book. I do know that it's going to be a series, so maybe she's planning on expanding later in the series, but honestly I don't know if I'm going to be continuing it. I'll just take that one day at a time and just see how I'm feeling whenever the next book comes out, because if it's in Sarah's POV, I don't think I can do it. I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed in this. I thought I was gonna love it, but you can't win them all. Do you think you should try it if you like romantasy? I just wouldn't go into it with such high expectations. Like, I was expecting to absolutely love this book from like the reviews that I've seen. So my expectations were up here, and I feel like if you go into this, they need to be on the floor. And then maybe you'll like it more than I did. I don't know. But we're moving on. I'm done with that book. Finally, it took me forever to read. So far, I mean, I'm only like 50 pages in, but so far we're just kind of setting up. I mean, we know the two main characters in this book because they appear in the other two books in this trilogy, but it is kind of interesting because now we're like back in time to where they first met, and with the timeline of the other two books, like they have already met, and so it's just kind of interesting that we're like just now getting their book and we're going back in time. I don't know. That's a little bit interesting, but so far so good. I mean, I don't really have a lot of thoughts and opinions. Basically, we're following Rose, who works for a circus, and she's kind of like she's a tarot reader, card reader, and she also does like this like crazy motorcycle stunt thing, and Of course, she has like a little murderous streak in her. Who doesn't in this trilogy, really? But she's going to unalive someone, but it went wrong, and so she got really injured and broke her leg, and now she can't be in the circus anymore, obviously. And she meets Fionn, who is a doctor, and he kind of like helps her through the initial like trauma, I guess, of like her having a broken leg. So now he's like offered her to live in his house because she like has an RV and it's like hard for her to get up and down it. I really did not like Leather and Lark, the second book in this trilogy, but I really did like Butcher and Blackbird, so I'm really curious on where I'll feel and where I'll land with this book. So that's where I am right now. I'm interested. We'll see if it picks up. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, as you've seen, I haven't been reading. I don't really know if it's like the book or if it's me. I don't know. But like I am enjoying it, and I do think this has like good potential, especially with like my thoughts on Leather and Lark. I know like obviously right now off the bat I'm enjoying this more than that one, and I just love the characters in this book. I love Fionn so much. He's a cute little doctor and he crochets. What's not to love about that? Like I said, I'm enjoying the book, and every time I pick it up and read it, I like it. I just haven't like felt the urge to like read it. So here's my plan as of right now. I'm going to try to sit down and read this. If I'm having a jolly good time, great, we'll continue it. If I'm not, I'm going to like put it down and then maybe pick up a different book. But I'm not going to like DNF it because I am enjoying it. So I might either get the audiobook or just like go back and forth. I think I just need to like mix it up maybe. As you saw, I am soft DNFing Scythe and Sparrow. It's not like the book's fault, I don't think. I think it's just personally right now, it's not what I'm in the mood for, and I just felt bored while reading it. I liked the characters. I love Fionn. I'm still like interested in where the story's gonna go, but I do think I might try to get the audiobook for it and finish it, just because I feel like if I read it, it's gonna put me in a book slump. Ever since Butcher and Blackbird, like I just don't feel like the other books have read the same way as Butcher and Blackbird. Like I finished that so quick. I was obsessed with it. I feel like it just had so much more going on. This one I feel like doesn't have a lot going on right now, so maybe that's my problem, but I am soft DNFing it. We're gonna move on. Then I decided to pick up Firefly Lane, and I'm about 60 pages into it so far, and I am reading it fast, so I feel like so far so good. I haven't had the urge to like put it down, but I guess we'll continue to see. If I want to put it down, I'm just going to put it down because I'm not going to put myself in a book slump. Also, never read a Kristen Hanna book, so I'm super excited. So far, the writing is very good. It's very easy. Tully and Kate live across the street from each other, so eventually they start to become friends, and Tully really relies on Kate to be her friend because she has no one else, and they form this like very quick bond because of something like traumatic that happened to Tully. She confides in Kate, and then they become friends right off the bat, and you're just kind of slowly watching their friendship evolved. That's where I'm at right now. I'm enjoying reading about their childhood. I'm interested to see where it goes. So far so good. I'm glad that I picked this up. Hopefully I can get through it pretty quick because it's thick. So we'll see. I think I'm about like 50% into this book. I just got to part 3. I'm really enjoying it so far. Like I feel like it's so many, there's so many layers to this book. It's not just like about two best friends' lives. I mean, like it is, but the way that their paths are going right now, it's showing very conflicting, there's like a crossroads, you know, there's very different lives being led, and I love how like they're showing different views of the time, especially because Tully is very much, I want to be a news anchor, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to be the best. And then Kate has recently gotten married and wants to become a mother. So there's like very conflicting dreams going on, especially since they've always dreamed of doing things together their entire lives and being together. But I'm enjoying watching both girls and seeing how their lives are playing out. It's so interesting because also like they are so different in the way that they view love and the way that they want to be loved, because one of them believes more in like true love and she just wants to be motherly, have a husband, show love that way, while the other person just does not feel like they deserve love or that they are capable of being loved because of things that's happened to them in their past and just what they've gone through. And I think that's also very an interesting topic to definitely just see the differences also with how they were raised, but they're also best friends and they would do anything for each other. And I love the girlhood best friend vibes of it all, but I'm curious to see like how it develops, especially with all of these upcoming crossroads conflicts that could be coming up. It's interesting and I'm enjoying it and the writing's really good. I haven't like found myself bored or like not wanting to pick it up. Okay, I'm about to go sit outside with my sunscreen and read this book for a little bit, but I realized I haven't given you guys an update. It's just, I feel like this book's hard to update on just because it's basically just following these two best friends as characters and like seeing their lives. So I don't want to like give spoilers. There's not really like a big plot. It's just like the plot is their lives and like their friendship and how it grows and changes and evolves with all of these years and all of these different life choices and things happening in their lives. Like I said earlier, they live very different lives. It just feels like so wholesome in a way, while also bringing attention to certain topics of motherhood and just being a woman in general. I feel like I'm reading this book really slow as well, just because I feel like it's long, first of all, and also I'm just taking my time enjoying it. I'm not like rushing to find out like a plot twist or like anything like that. I'm just enjoying the journey, which also I feel like that's a big theme in this book as well, so that's interesting that I feel this way about this book. So I'm gonna go sit outside and hopefully finish this book so I can give you my final thoughts and opinions, but I am really enjoying it. This book made me feel, honestly, so many things that were unexpected. Like, obviously I felt sad at times. I felt like a kinship with these characters. I felt their feelings as well. Like, Kristen and Hannah just made these characters seem so real and realistic that like you can't help but like connect to them and kind of feel what they're feeling. At least for me, I really connected, especially to Kate. It gives you all of like the feels of like when you're young and in high school all the way to like adulthood, and just like female friendships is a big thing throughout this book. And as a female, like I feel like I could relate to certain things throughout this book. I really enjoyed just their lives, and like I don't usually read literary fiction like this, but I definitely want to start reading more of this genre this year because I really enjoyed it. I never found myself bored. I'm really glad I read this and finally gave it a try, and I do recommend it. Definitely one of my surprise books. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It's time to talk about all the books that I read in this video and give you guys my final opinions and my readings. So I started the video off by reading a thriller, and I read The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and I'm really glad that I started this book when I did because it was like the perfect time. It was super fast paced and entertaining, and I haven't read just like a physical copy of a thriller in a while, so I really enjoyed that experience, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Just like I said, it was entertaining. It did exactly what it needed to do. The plot twist was there. Also, just like the like eerie, dark, what the heck vibe was there the entire time as well, and I really enjoyed just the vibes of this book and just like trying to figure out what was lying like beneath the surface and like what was gonna end up happening. And I really enjoyed part 2 of this book as well, and like once it changed to part 2, like after 50%, I wasn't sure like where the story was going, but I really enjoyed it. So 4 stars for that one. I'm excited to read the movie, and I do think like the hype around it is kind of well deserved, and I enjoyed it. So if you haven't read that one yet, I think you should read it before the movie comes out. Then I moved on to fantasy and read Quicksilver, which kind of gave me some struggles, which I wasn't expecting just because fantasy is one of my favorite genres as of lately, but this book kind of let me down in that department. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I was this close to DNFing it. You guys saw like my struggles with it overall. It just like the romance wasn't hitting for me, and then also like for it to be a fantasy, like some of the fantasy elements and like the world building wasn't there, which like I get if she's gonna expand on it like later on in the series, but it needed some improvement in my opinion, and I just think we needed stuff cut out and we needed stuff put in, and it needed to be shorter. Overall, it just felt like an book to me. Like, I don't get the hype personally, but I do think a big part of me feeling that way is the romance. Like, I just did not like the romance. So take that with a grain of salt. 2.5 stars. Then I moved on to Scythe and Sparrow, which recently I realized I've been saying Scythe and Sparrow instead of Scythe and Sparrow, but that is the dark romance book that I decided to read for this video, and it is the third book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I did soft DNF it in this video, as you saw, but then I did pick up the audiobook at a later date and finished it, so I can finally give you like my thoughts and opinions on that. Overall, it was like fine. Like, I don't think it was necessary. I liked Fionn a lot. I liked Rose, but I just felt like she was like the worst serial killer ever. Like, the plot of her being a serial killer just didn't make sense. It just felt like they threw it in there just because everyone else in the series like has a serial killer bone in their body, I guess. So I get why she had to do that. It just felt forced to me, and I didn't really like that part of the plot. I did like the relationship, but I also just felt like the book was boring. Like, there wasn't a big plot to me, and like Butcher and Blackbird was just so entertaining and so, I don't know, just not boring. Like, every other book after that one has just felt boring to me. I don't like the plots of them, but I do like the characters, especially in this book, so I ended up giving Scythe and Sparrow 3 stars. It was fine, way better than Leather and Lark in my opinion, but still fell flat compared to Butcher and Blackbird. But I will say I did love the epilogues in this book, so I'm glad that I finished it. Lastly, for this video, I read my literary fiction book, which was Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This book was such a pleasant surprise. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars, so close to a 5-star, but I don't know, it just didn't give me that exact 5-star feeling, but I did really enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. This genre clearly was my favorite out of all of these that I read during this video, and I definitely want to read more from this genre, and I want to read more from Kristen Hanna. I know she writes historical fiction as well, so I do want to read some of those books, but this book just, it just is so much. Like I said in my review earlier, it just makes you feel so many things, and it makes you just think and ponder, but you're also like entertained by like reading about these two women's lives and how they've like grown up. It's just like, it's kind of like a feel-good book in a way, even though it did make me emotional at the same time. It just feels so real, and I connected to it in like a way that I don't usually connect to books and characters lately. I just really liked it. I think I just really like this genre. Like I said, I'm excited to read more in this genre, so I definitely think you should give it a try, and there's also a TV show, so I do want to watch that as well. Those are all the books that I read in this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching me read them. Maybe you got a new recommendation. Let me know if you've read any of these, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll see you very, very soon in my next video.